Have you ever felt someone thinking about you so hard that it woke you up at night? That strange pull in your chest. That feeling that someone out there is holding your name inside their heart even while pretending to live a completely different story? Dear one, what you are about to hear is not a rumor. It is not a guess. It is something quiet and real that has been building for a long time, and today it is finally ready to reach you. Before we go any further, I want you to do one small thing. If you feel this message settling into your heart already, drop "Love is here" in the comments below. Let this be your way of saying, "Yes, I am open. I am ready. This message is for me." The moment you do that, you are not just watching, you are receiving. So take a breath and let's begin. Dear one, the story I am about to share with you is confirmed, quiet, and unmistakable. It comes from the space around your special person, and it is not something they show the world. What they present out there, the smiling photos, the easy laughter, the picture that looks so perfect from far away, is only a cover. Underneath it is a truth so strong that it would shake everything they have tried to build if it ever came fully into the light. Here is what almost no one around them knows. The person they are with right now was never chosen with a full and open heart. They were chosen out of pressure, timing, confusion, and the fear of admitting who they truly think about when the noise of the day finally goes quiet. And dear one, that quiet tension they carry inside is cracking faster than they know how to manage. They have been replaying old conversations. They have been going back through old messages. They have been sitting with memories that belong only to the two of you. And somewhere deep down, even the person standing beside them can feel that something is missing, that hollow space, that smile that does not quite reach the eyes. Because your special person is not fully living in their present moment. Part of them is still living inside the memory of you, and pretending otherwise is becoming harder for them with every day that passes. There was a moment recently, quiet and unplanned, when their true feelings slipped out before they could stop them. It did not happen in front of a crowd or in some big dramatic scene. It happened privately, in a moment when they forgot to guard their heart. Someone close to them noticed, a friend, a sibling, someone who has known them long enough to tell the difference between a real connection and a forced one. That person gently asked them the one question they had been afraid to hear. "Are you sure you're happy?" And in that small pause before they answered, their face told the truth their words tried to hide. Real happiness does not hesitate. It does not freeze. It does not look down and swallow hard like a name is echoing somewhere deep in the chest. That single moment said more than any explanation ever could. Dear one, pause for a second. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. A very special thank you to dear Lita, MS Valerie, and Stephen for sowing your seed for Soulmate here through Ko-Fi link. Super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you always. Thank you for your beautiful support. Blessings always. Let's know what angels want us to know. People around them are starting to sense that this relationship is not as steady as it looks. Feels rehearsed, fragile, quietly falling apart from the inside, even while the outside still looks fine. The person they are with can feel a gap that never quite closes, like a door in the heart that stays halfway open, only it is not open for them. Every time your special person laughs, smiles, or says something kind, there is a small flicker of guilt behind their eyes, a quiet whisper that says, This is not who my heart is really calling for. And what they do not fully understand yet is that life itself, the flow of the universe, keeps gently placing reminders of you back into their path, nudging them toward a truth they have been trying to avoid. Dear one, the shift happening inside your special person right now is quiet, private, and completely real. They are starting to realize that the longer they keep pretending, the more of themselves they lose. So they have begun pulling back, not all at once, but slowly, canceling plans here and there, replying a little slower than before, feeling a little more distant, a little less excited about things that used to interest them. And the person they are with is starting to sense that something is slipping away, something that cannot be controlled or replaced no matter how hard they try. Somewhere inside, your special person is standing at the edge of a big emotional decision, one that could change everything for both of you. They keep quietly asking themselves why they continue pretending, why they keep forcing something that no longer feels alive, why they keep showing the world a picture-perfect image while their heart beats somewhere else entirely. And the part that scares them the most, the part becoming harder and harder to push away, is this. Whenever they picture their future, only one face fits into it. Their soul has already spoken the truth. Their energy has already shown it. Their small daily actions are already giving it away. What they are living right now is only a shadow, and your presence is the flame underneath it all. No matter how much effort they put into hiding it, the relationship they are pretending to be happy in cannot compete with the pull they feel toward you, dear one. Take a slow breath, because what comes next is something your special person has been terrified anyone would ever notice. The smiles, the photos, the appearances in public, all of it has been a wall built out of fear, and that wall is cracking faster than they can repair it. Someone very close to them has started connecting the dots. They have noticed the way your special person drifts off in the middle of a conversation, the way they suddenly go quiet when something reminds them of you, the way their eyes grow distant the moment their partner tries to get emotionally close. A friend recently asked them directly, "Is something wrong between you two?" And instead of defending the relationship the way they used to, your special person simply froze. They did not deny it. They did not argue. They just looked away, swallowed hard, and let the silence speak for them. That silence said more than words ever could, because carrying around a feeling they cannot admit out loud is becoming too heavy. From the outside, people still see what looks like a couple. But if you look closely, you would see two people standing in the same room carrying two very different hearts, one trying to hold on, and one quietly trying to find a way out. And here is where things shift even more deeply. Your special person has started to feel exposed, not out in public, but privately within themselves. Their emotions have been slipping out at the most unexpected times. Not long ago, something happened that caught them completely off guard. Without meaning to, they said a certain phrase, a certain tone of voice, something they used to save only for you, and it slipped out in front of their current partner. That partner froze. They sensed instantly that it was not meant for them. It was softer, deeper, carrying a familiarity that did not belong to their relationship. It was the way someone speaks when part of their mind is somewhere else entirely. That small slip stirred up a storm of insecurity that their partner tried to hide but could not fully contain. They began asking quiet questions, testing, comparing, overthinking, and in their nervousness, they started holding on even tighter. But the tighter they hold on, the more your special person quietly pulls away. This forced connection is starting to feel suffocating to them, and their heart keeps whispering your name a little louder every time they try to force a smile. The guilt is heavy, the confusion runs deep, and their partner is slowly starting to understand that they are holding on to someone whose heart is simply not fully there. Dear one, Life is gently pushing your special person toward a corner where the truth can no longer stay hidden. They have been feeling restless, unsettled, unable to sleep easily, unable to focus the way they used to. Their chest tightens when your name crosses their mind. Their thoughts grow loud whenever they imagine a future without you in it. And the strange part is, the harder they try to convince themselves that everything is fine, the louder their heart argues against that story. They have been spending more time alone lately, taking longer walks, sitting quietly, scrolling back through old memories, questioning the choices that led them to where they are now. Someone close to them even noticed the change and gently said, "You look like you're fighting a battle inside." And they are, because the truth inside them is finally reaching its peak. They cannot keep up this performance much longer. Their heart already made its choice a long time ago. Their soul already knows where it feels most at home. Their mind already knows what it is quietly reaching for. And even though fear is still present, they are slowly preparing themselves for the moment everything changes, the moment they finally step away from the pretending and let the truth about you rise fully into the light. Dear one, brace yourself gently, because this next part is where the truth becomes impossible for your special person to keep pushing aside. This fragile arrangement they have been holding together with forced smiles and quiet denial is nearing its breaking point. And it is not because of some big argument or dramatic conflict. The real reason is simply you. You live too loudly inside their heart for them to keep pretending any longer. Something happened recently that stirred them more than they expected. A place, a message, a small memory that instantly pulled you back into the center of their emotional world. And the moment that feeling hit, their current relationship suddenly felt hollow and meaningless. A heaviness settled into their chest, almost like guilt, as if staying somewhere that no longer feels right was a betrayal of their own heart. They tried to distract themselves. They tried to shift their focus. They tried smiling through it. But the truth simply would not leave. Their heart remembered you. Their soul recognized you. For a few seconds, they could not even hear the voice of the person standing right next to them, because your presence had grown that powerful inside their inner world, strong enough to quiet everything else they were trying to pretend. Here is something almost no one around them knows. They have started imagining what it would feel like to finally walk away from this arrangement that no longer fits. They picture freedom, not a wild or reckless kind, but the peaceful kind, the kind where they finally stop lying to themselves, where they stop waking up beside someone who simply does not feel like home. Quietly, privately, they have even rehearsed the conversation in their mind, because somewhere inside, they know it is coming. They have imagined saying the words, "I can't keep doing this. My heart isn't fully here. I don't want to pretend anymore." They have imagined the shock, the confusion, the questions that would follow, and they have imagined themselves staying steady through it. But the most telling part is this. When they picture life after that conversation, the one image that brings them peace, comfort, and quiet relief is you. Not because they expect you to come running, and not because they assume you are simply waiting around, but because something in their soul feels calmer just thinking of you. That calm is something they cannot find with the person they are currently trying to love, and that realization is becoming too big to keep denying. Dear one, there is one more layer to this. Your special person has begun quietly protecting their feelings for you. They have not said anything out loud. They have not confessed a single word. But inside, it is clear they are guarding this feeling the way someone guards something precious and fragile. They fear their current partner noticing. They fear losing their composure if your name ever comes up in conversation. They fear that someone will catch the way their whole energy shifts the moment they think of you. And fear like that only shows up when a feeling is real. That is exactly why this current relationship is quietly falling apart. Not through arguments, and not because of incompatibility, but because their heart refuses to settle somewhere it was never meant to stay. Their soul keeps pulling them away. Their thoughts keep drifting back to you without permission. Their feelings keep leaning toward a different direction, no matter how tightly they try to hold onto the picture they built for everyone else to see. The truth keeps slipping through their fingers, the truth that they cannot stop thinking about you, that they never fully let go, that their deepest connection was never truly with the person they are pretending to build a life with. It was always with you, and somewhere inside, it still is. Dear soul, before we continue with today's angel message, I'd like to invite you into a small but meaningful act of faith for your soulmate journey. Love is one of heaven's greatest gifts, yet every precious connection can face moments of uncertainty, fear, or unseen negativity. If your heart feels led to place your soulmate connection into God's loving hands, you can sow your seed through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. As you give, let your seed become a heartfelt intention of hope, inviting the angels to surround you and your soulmate with divine protection, healing, wisdom, and perfect timing. May your connection continue to grow under God's guidance, strengthened by love, peace, and His everlasting light. The Bible reminds us that every act of generous giving is an expression of faith. Proverbs 11 verse 25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." And Acts 20 verse 35 reminds us, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." When we give with a joyful heart, we honor God and place our trust in His perfect plan. If you feel called to sow this seed today, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May God bless your generosity, strengthen your soulmate bond, and fill your life with love, favor, and heavenly peace. Now, let's continue with today's angel message. Dear one, this is the point where the truth stops whispering and starts speaking loudly enough to shake the walls your special person has built around themselves. This fragile structure they have been forcing themselves to stand inside is collapsing quietly, from the inside out, slow and deeply revealing rather than loud and chaotic. Something recently pushed them into a corner within their own heart. A conversation, a sudden wave of clarity, an unexpected, honest moment with themselves. For the first time, they finally asked the question they had been too afraid to voice. Why am I still here? And the silence that followed hit them like a storm, because the honest answer was painfully simple. They do not feel anything real anymore. Not the excitement, not the comfort, not the connection. They have been living inside an echo, pretending the sound was still alive long after it quietly faded. The moment they recognized this, a heavy wave of guilt washed over them, not because they are preparing to leave someone behind, but because they have been lying to themselves about where their heart truly belongs. And then something even more intense happened. Your special person tried one final time to breathe life back into this connection, to see if anything could still be saved. They tried speaking gently. They tried spending more time together. They tried showing interest. But every attempt felt forced, heavy, unnatural. Their soul resisted. Their body resisted. Their whole energy resisted. They realized, no matter how hard they tried, their heart simply was not willing to keep participating in something that no longer felt true. Their partner felt it too instantly. There was a quiet, wordless moment where both of them understood the same truth at the same time, one of them present, and one of them mentally already gone. Their partner looked into their eyes and saw it clearly. That distant look, that hollow ache, that sense that your special person's heart belongs somewhere else. They sensed they were quietly competing with a feeling they could not even see, and losing someone whose heart was never fully theirs to hold. That unspoken tension has been hanging in the air between them ever since. And now, dear one, comes one of the most powerful shifts of all. Your special person is quietly preparing to break free, not carelessly and not suddenly, but with real intention. They have started setting emotional boundaries. They have started reclaiming their own energy. They have started putting their own peace of mind first. Every small step they take now is being guided by something deep inside, pulling them away from the lie they have been living and toward the door they have been avoiding, the one that leads straight back to you. Deep down, they know they cannot keep running from this truth. They cannot keep pretending not to feel what they clearly feel. The reason this connection is dying is simple. Their heart already chose someone else long before they ever admitted it out loud. Someone who awakens something deeper in them. Someone whose presence still lingers quietly in their mind. Someone their soul refuses to release. And that someone, dear one, is you. Now comes the moment where everything inside your special person begins shifting faster than they can control. This fragile illusion they have been carrying is no longer something they can hold together, even in pretend. The truth is spilling out through their actions, through their long silences, through the way they hesitate before answering even the simplest questions. They are not just distant anymore. Emotionally, they are already somewhere else. Recently, they experienced a wave of overwhelming clarity. One of those rare moments when the heart speaks louder than the mind ever could. It happened while they were completely alone, away from noise and distraction. They sat quietly, staring at nothing in particular, and suddenly every emotion they had buried came rushing back all at once. Your name, your presence, your memory came through like a bolt of lightning. Something inside them cracked open, something they had been trying to hold together for far too long. In that instant, they understood they had been living a lie, and that lie was slowly suffocating them. They had been pretending to be okay, pretending to feel things they did not truly feel, pretending that the person beside them could fill a space that was never meant for them to fill. But now, no amount of effort, no amount of pretending, no amount of forced affection can hide the truth any longer. Their heart belongs somewhere else entirely. Here is where life stepped in with a twist they never expected. Someone close to them, someone perceptive and emotionally aware, noticed how their energy shifts every time something reminds them of you. This person recently asked a question that landed harder than expected. Is there someone else in your heart? Your special person did not answer. They could not. Their silence said everything words never could. Their eyes softened. Their breathing changed. Their whole body gave away the truth they had been running from. And that friend did not judge them for it. They simply said, "You can't fake love forever." Those words have been echoing in your special person's mind ever since. It was the first time someone said out loud what they had been quietly feeling inside for a long time, that their current relationship is not truly real, and that the person they have been trying so hard to build a connection with was never meant to hold their heart. They have been wrestling with guilt, fear, and confusion for a long time. But now, a new feeling is rising up inside them. Courage. The courage to stop pretending. The courage to walk away. The courage to finally accept that real love cannot be replaced by comfort, convenience, or simple routine. Dear one, the final unraveling has now begun. Your special person has already detached themselves emotionally from this connection, even if the actual words have not been spoken yet. They have been pulling back slowly, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Their partner feels it. Their friends feel it. They feel it too. The distance between them is no longer something small or easy to overlook. It is undeniable now, and somewhere deep inside, your special person understands exactly why this is happening. Their soul refuses to settle where it does not belong. Their heart refuses to keep beating for someone it does not truly recognize as home. The more they try to suppress their feelings for you, the stronger those feelings become. You are not fading from their mind, dear one. You are becoming the center of it. They replay your words. They remember your energy. They feel the weight of your absence sitting in their chest like something they simply cannot ignore. Their connection to you is something they cannot break, cannot replace, and cannot silence, no matter how hard they try. And now, the relationship they have been holding on to is quietly collapsing under the weight of a truth too powerful to keep buried. This moment is arriving sooner than they expected. The moment they will finally choose honesty over fear, truth over pretending, and the connection their heart has been aching for over the illusion they have been forcing themselves to live inside. Dear soul, if this message brought someone special to your heart, take a moment to think about them wherever they may be right now. You may not know what they are going through, what they are feeling, or what they are silently carrying, but you can still choose to pray for their peace, healing, protection, and guidance. If your heart feels led, you can sow a seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. The link is in the video description and pinned comment. Let this seed be your quiet expression of love and faith, not a demand for an outcome, but a prayer that your soulmate is guided toward healing, clarity, and whatever is truly meant for both of your hearts. May God protect them wherever they are, soften every heart that needs healing, remove confusion, and guide both of you according to His perfect timing. And if this message has touched your heart, thank you for your kindness and support. May the love, peace, and goodness you give return to your life in beautiful ways. Let's continue with Angel Message. Dear one, here is where everything inside your special person becomes impossible to hide, impossible to quiet, and impossible to control any longer. Even the smallest interaction with their current partner now feels heavy, awkward, and painfully unnatural. They try to smile. They try to keep the conversation going. They try to act like everything is normal. But their true feelings keep slipping out faster than they can gather them back in. Recently, there was a small but deeply telling moment. Their partner reached out with affection, and instead of leaning in or responding warmly, your special person simply froze. Their body stiffened. Their eyes turned distant. They could not bring themselves to participate. That reaction revealed everything they have been quietly holding back. It was not anger and it was not discomfort. It was pure emotional truth finally rising to the surface, because their soul simply cannot keep pretending anymore. Their partner felt that shift instantly and pulled back, confused, sensing something invisible standing between them, something they did not want to name but could not deny either. But there is more happening beneath the surface. Your special person has started experiencing something unexpected, little emotional flashbacks, random moments where they suddenly feel your presence as if you were standing right beside them. It happens while they are walking, sitting, eating, or working, when suddenly a memory of you floods their mind so strongly that they briefly lose track of what they were doing. Their heart races, their breathing shifts, their mind drifts somewhere they have been trying hard to avoid. These moments are not rare anymore. They happen almost daily now. And every time they try to shake the feeling off, life sends another gentle reminder. A familiar song, a certain scent, a vivid dream, a passing image, a single word, a strange sense of déjà vu. These are not random coincidences. Dear one, These are emotional signals rising up from the part of themselves they have been trying so hard to keep quiet, and each one makes the relationship they are in feel even emptier than before. They are beginning to realize that in losing touch with you, they also lost a version of themselves, the version that only came alive when you were present in their life. That realization is shaking them deeply from the inside. And now, here is the part they would not want anyone else to know. They have started quietly avoiding their partner. Not out of anger and not because of conflict, but simply from emotional exhaustion. They no longer have the energy to keep pretending. They no longer have the strength to force feelings that are not there. They no longer have the emotional room to fake a connection that never truly existed. They have been spending more time alone, canceling plans, creating distance, sitting in longer stretches of silence. They have grown quieter, more withdrawn, more reflective, and their partner feels threatened by this shift, sensing they are slowly losing someone who was never fully theirs to begin with. But your special person is no longer confused. Something inside them has settled into a quiet certainty. They know their heart was never truly meant for this relationship. They know that life itself has been gently steering them toward a truth they had been avoiding for a long time. And they know that no matter how hard they try to suppress it, outrun it, or distract themselves from it, their soul keeps turning back toward you. You are the truth they have never spoken, the story that never fully closed, the emotional home they never stopped quietly searching for. And now, the relationship they have been holding on to is only moments away from collapsing under the weight of that truth. Dear one, wherever you are as you receive this message, take a slow breath and let it settle gently into your heart. You are not imagining this pull. You are not making up this feeling. What you have sensed all along has been real, and it has simply been waiting for the right moment to surface. Trust the quiet knowing inside you. Trust the calm that rises when you think of what is coming. And however this unfolds, know that you are supported, you are seen, and you are deeply, deeply loved. Dear one, let's slow down together for a moment, because there is something important I want you to understand before we go any further. None of what your special person is feeling right now is something you forced or manifested through fear or control. This is not about chasing, begging, or trying to make someone love you. This is simply energy finding its way back to where it has always belonged. Real connection cannot be manufactured, and it cannot be faked forever, no matter how good someone is at pretending. What is happening here is simply the natural unfolding of truth, the kind of truth that always finds its way to the surface eventually, in its own time. You may have spent nights wondering if what you felt was real, or if you were only imagining a bond that existed only in your own heart. Dear one, hear this clearly. What you felt was never one-sided. The energy between two people who share something true does not simply vanish because time has passed or because life pulled you in different directions for a while. It settles quietly under the surface, waiting patiently for the right season to rise again. And that season is arriving now. There is a reason you were guided to this message today, at this exact moment, in this exact place in your life. It is not random. Life has a way of placing exactly what we need to hear right in front of us the moment we are ready to receive it. If your heart softened even slightly while reading these words, if something inside you nodded quietly in recognition, that is your own inner knowing confirming what has already been true for a while now. I want you to think back for a moment, not to dwell in the past, but simply to notice. Think about the small signs that have been showing up in your own life lately. Maybe you have been dreaming about your special person more often than usual. Maybe their name has been crossing your mind at strange hours, moments when you were not even thinking about them on purpose. Maybe you have noticed repeating numbers, or a song that keeps playing at just the right moment, or a memory that resurfaces out of nowhere and brings a wave of emotion with it. These are not coincidences, dear one. These are gentle nudges from the universe, letting you know that the story between you is far from finished. It is natural to feel impatient during a season like this. You may want answers right now. You may want to know exactly when, exactly how, exactly what will happen next. But truth like this does not arrive on command. It arrives when both hearts are ready to receive it fully, without fear standing in the way. Your special person is still moving through their own process, untangling years of conditioning, fear, and the pressure of trying to look like they have everything figured out. Give that process room to breathe. Real transformation cannot be rushed, and trying to force it only slows it down further. In the meantime, dear one, focus gently on your own healing and your own peace. This is not a season for chasing or proving anything to anyone. It is a season for becoming steady within yourself, so that when the moment finally arrives, you are standing in your full strength, ready to receive what is coming rather than desperately reaching for it. The most powerful thing you can do right now is simply continue living your life with grace, taking care of your heart, and trusting that what is meant for you is already making its way toward you, even if you cannot see the exact path it is taking. Notice how your own energy has been shifting lately too. Have you felt more centered? More at peace with uncertainty? Less inclined to check your phone every few minutes waiting for a message? That shift is not an accident either. As your special person begins releasing their fear and stepping into their truth, your own energy naturally begins to settle as well, because you are both connected on a level deeper than daily conversation or physical distance could ever interrupt. Take a quick second before we move forward. Many channels are reposting and copying our content, but authentic energy cannot be duplicated. For the strongest positive connection and divine guidance, always listen from the original angel's message for you channel with the black logo base. Now, let's continue with the message your angels want you to hear. There will likely be a turning point coming soon, dear one. A moment when something shifts openly rather than quietly behind the scenes. It might come through an unexpected message. It might come through a chance meeting that feels too perfectly timed to be random. It might come through a mutual friend mentioning something that reaches your ears exactly when you needed to hear it. However it arrives, trust that you will recognize it the moment it happens, because your heart has been quietly preparing for this all along. Until then, keep taking care of yourself. Nourish your body. Rest when you are tired. Spend time doing the things that bring you genuine joy, not to distract yourself from waiting, but because your own happiness matters regardless of what anyone else is going through. The version of you that feels whole and steady on their own is also the version most ready to welcome real, lasting connection when it finally arrives fully into the light. And remember, dear one, this entire journey is not about controlling another person's choices or timeline. It is about trusting that truth always finds its way home eventually. Real love does not need to be forced, manipulated, or begged for. It simply needs space, patience, and enough courage from both sides to finally stop pretending. Your special person is walking toward that courage right now, step by quiet step, even on the days it does not look like it from the outside. So breathe easy tonight, dear one. Let go of the tight grip of worry. Whatever is meant to unfold between you will unfold in its own perfect timing, guided by something far wiser than either of you could plan on your own. Trust the process, trust your own heart, and trust that the truth you have felt all along was never something you imagined. It was simply waiting for the right moment to finally come home. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.